Are are people who are smugglers different kind of people than sellers? Like,
for sure.
So in a big organization, you got the mastermind, you got the transportation people, you got the sellers, and then what? You got money launder, like.
Absolutely, yeah. Everyone, it's like a corporation, and there's different entities or employees and staff, and within this, there's people that, not to, talk bad about people, that there's people that they'll never be the mastermind, or they'll never do it because they're more of the employee worker bee. Just like in regular everyday society, there's people that they want to take a risk, they want to be an entrepreneur, and then there's the person that just wants that security blanket of having a job, right? So on the drug side of things, those people are like the guys that are doing the driver from Seattle to Los Angeles. He just wants to be his little worker. He's not really interested in being like, I'm gonna run this organization and multiple. He's cool with making I think at the time they were giving him like $75 on a pound, and if he might bring 300 pounds down, it takes him like 14 hours to get here.
So he's making 20 grand.
Yeah.
Who's the weak link in those type of? Is it the transporters?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's who would get.
In most cases, that was the weak link from my case. Somebody got busted in transportation, and then when they got caught along the way, the police asked him, "Hey, he actually had put in the GPS coordinates to where he was going." And so they told him, hey, we know where you're going. We're going to go there, or you can help yourself and go there with us and do a controlled delivery, yeah. And so he did that and then continued to work with them. So I know that from my case.
Did he get any charges, or they let him totally off?
No, they let him go. He had absolutely no charges ever. He eventually even started getting cash to get paid.
So when they sometimes catch people and tell them, you can go home today, like, they're not lying. You might
not lying at all. This guy was in custody for a few hours. He was in Detroit and he lived in Vegas, and they gave him back his cell phones and said, act like nothing happened. We'll be in contact. And they sent him back to Las Vegas within a few hours.
And that was the guy. Oh, that was the guy you went to Pam.
Yeah, no, it just spiraled out from there. Initially, when he came back, I'll never rat on you. I gave up those guys because I don't know them.
And he did. He admitted to you that.
Yeah, he showed up at my house.
But to show up and say, I told on someone else, but I wouldn't tell on you, let's do some more crimes, is kind of crazy.
He wasn't saying let's do some more, but he was saying, can you pay for my lawyer?
But he didn't even get a lawyer because he didn't get any charges, right?
Yeah, no, he didn't.
So what, he just wanted some money, or was he trying to get you in to admit you?
No, what happened with that particular person, I had a verbal contract with how much money he would make, right? And so I paid that person a flat rate of $20,000 a month, no matter what they did. So if I said, hey, I needed to go, we would call it catch a load in Atlanta, catch a load in Chicago, catch a load in Detroit, he would fly from Las Vegas to be a buffer. So that way the pilot is not meeting my customer. Because I would never want, like, let's say you're my customer in Detroit, I don't want you to meet my pilot. Because next thing you know, you're saying, oh, I know someone in LA, can you fly? So, you know what I mean? So I paid this person 20 grand, and I think I owed him a little bit from the month before. Like, I maybe was like, oh, here's 10 or here's 15, I owe you 5. You know what I mean? Even I didn't always just cash him out his whole 20, you know what I mean? Or he might take an advance, like, hey, can I get some of my pay? And he came to get money, and in the moment I was like, oh, I don't have any, I'll shoot some to homeboy. And I remember going, like, after he did that, going to Las Vegas to meet somebody that he knew in a grocery store parking lot to just pay off to help get him the dude the lawyer, and because in my mind I thought if I give the dude his money that he's owed, potentially he's not going to say anything, and I could just fucking, you know, to me money was nothing in that moment too, you know. And so in order to hopefully make this shit disappear, I would do that. And when I met the dude in the parking lot, I clearly started seeing the signs, you know, like my PTSD. And I always trained myself what to look for. I mean, the extra fucking tinted windows, the one dude that's like, we're in the grocery store walking around, me and dude, like I'm talking to him. We're not like at the window of his car, and dude's following us around in the grocery store. And when I came out, I was like, hey, what's up with your friends? And we're like seeing him in tinted cars. And so,
and what did he say?
We were both just bugged the fuck out, you know. But absolutely, that was like the weak link, and he took down everybody.
Looking back, or if to someone who's watching, who might be in whatever game and they're making some money, if the very thing you're searching for, the plug for the right time and the right place, and you know all the right people, it's almost like it's too much of a good thing. Like if it really is working, you can go from just, hey, I want to make $10,000 a month just as a little side hustle so I don't have to work, to like you're suddenly doing stuff that you didn't set out to do, and you wouldn't have planned to do because it's just too far out there, but it just kind of
escalates, yeah, and escalates. And it perpetuates, and like you said before, it becomes
and
like
so
bigger
much money's
than
being
yourself.
made, no one wants you to stop.
Nobody wants you to stop, especially at the club, you know. And even every now and then, members of the club would say, hey, you know, we don't know how much longer we're going to go because we're all going to retire. So make sure you set yourself up for retirement, because this might be our last year. And that would piss me off when they said that. I would be like, oh, I'm not ready. Like, we're still going, you know? And I would say for people that are watching this, like I had one buddy, and his slogan with one of our hidden compartment trucks was slow and steady. And that truly, when they talk about being greedy and being too much, that's absolutely where you get yourself in trouble in the in this business. So in this business, if you're smart enough to live below your means, and you're not out here, oh, I got the Maybach, I got this and that, and I'm flossing. If you can take your little bit of money, live below your means, and eventually get out of the game because you didn't just keep growing and growing and getting bigger and I'm moving and shaking, then that's how you win, you know. And I do know people in that did this with me that made the transfer over into legitimate, lucrative businesses. I know multiple people that have no longer do these sort of things, and now have like massive, you know, homes and real estate and lucrative businesses, and they just make moves in the legitimate world. So part of the problem with people is society tells them they have to have all these, you know, luxury goods and cars, and Instagram, we have to hold the money up and show off, and you know, just real people.
But you sort of fell victim to that.
Oh, yeah,
you didn't save a bunch of money.
No, it's not that I didn't save. It's I was using my money to re-up all the time. But
you never got ahead.
No, I got ahead. I used to have maybe like 5 or 7 million of my own money.
But you spent it.
No. I had a bunch of maybe like 7 to 11 million of my own money that covered everyone's fronts so that I could re-up. So if I owed the plug 3 or 5 million, I might have.
What I'm asking you is how, if you weren't blowing all your or spending all your money, in the end, why didn't you have some big nest egg? It was because all your profit was owed to you?
Yeah.
And then when you get locked up, no one pays.
Nobody pays. I had sent my pops around multiple states to pick up money from people that, oh, this guy in Chicago owes me 200 grand. And I'm talking over a phone incarcerated saying, hey, I remodeled Al's house. I did his kitchen. He owes me 50 grand. Can you connect with him? He's out of Chicago, and maybe fly out and pick up his money. And I was doing that, and people would show up and give my dad 5 grand. You know? So when I say I had money, what I was doing is, if I owed the club, let's say 3 million, I might have 11 million owed to me on the streets. So I could say, out of that, 8 million belonged to me, you know? But every cash that came in, immediately, as soon as it came in, if I got 1 million today, I would shoot it and buy blow, instantly, and say, oh, I'm gonna just bury some and do that. But I always bought everything I needed. You know, I had $1 million homes, I had Porsches, Harleys. I lived in a luxury life, and now in retrospect, I remember working with one of my friends who I could, to this day, never been in trouble, and he would sometimes say, at one point he was above me in the chain of like, but I eventually jumped him, right? And so he would tell me, I can't mess with you, dude. You have a Porsche, you have this house, you're flashy. He goes, look at me, dude. I'm in a white shirt and I drive a minivan. Like, dude, you know what I'm saying? And so he goes, I can't come to your house no more. He wouldn't come to my house because he would float me a couple 100 pounds here and there. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, I guess this is still going towards the people out there that still do this. I would say, you don't go to clubs buying bottle service. Don't go buying all this stuff. Live like a humble life and stack your money. And when the time's right, like, invest it and just walk away from it, you know? Because that's how you get busted, is just keep perpetuating, oh, I got a Ferrari, I got this. No matter what, someone's going to hate on you or know when they get rolled up. There's a saying, give up 3, get set free.
Oh, and does that
totally works? Yeah.
Did they give you the third? Did they spend a lot of time trying to get you to tell, or once they can tell someone's not gonna?
So the way that worked with myself is instantly I got picked up, they put me in the back of a car, and the agent is in the car with me. And he starts to tell me things over that he's seen and heard over my past 9 or 10 months.
Were they all accurate?
Oh,
or
yeah.
was he just trying to scare you?
He was trying to scare me.
But it was accurate.
He said the same shit. I was back in the car and he goes, no one knows you're in trouble. You can help yourself right now. You can work with us, and you know, and I'm just, you know, cuffed up, and I'm just like this, like with my head down, not even like looking at old dude, and I was just pissed. I was, you know, but people were busted before me, so I knew.
You kind of knew it was coming.
I knew this day was coming, and so I would throw jabs back to like almost like say I was innocent, and he didn't know what he was talking about. You know what I mean? Like, you know, whatever he would say.
Were they mentioning the cocaine?
No.
Oh, so is that what gave you like? Because if they had said, I mean, you don't know what you would have done, but like just thinking about it, would your heart would have had to have dropped? If they'd have been
I would have never said
we know
anything.
you sent 1,000 bricks to Canada, you would have been sick.
I would have been sick. I still would have never done it though, because I worked with the world's biggest motorcycle gang.
I'm not saying you would have done. I'm just saying that would have been.
Every day on a daily basis, I work with like the sergeant of arms and all these sort of people and other like crazy people. And through like the course of many years of training myself, of like mental, knowing this day would come, never, you know what I mean? So I would have been really screwed. You know?
You would have got life.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
a very long time.
Right. And so he would say things in the back of the car. Then they took me to the room where that you get fingerprinted. They swab your mouth, and then they take a mug shot. And so while I'm sitting in like a tiny, tiny room getting my mug shot, he keeps telling me, like the lead agent, he's like standing up, talking about people he already arrested like 2 weeks before me, saying, oh, fucking John was here and he broke. he was upset stomach and he was crying and he fucking this and that. And I was like, you know, whatever. And I would say things to like disapprove, like, oh, I don't know, like this. And he goes, oh yeah, how about this? And he would fucking throw another jab at me, you know? And then he said something like, hey, are you hungry? We can go get you some Chick-fil-A or a hamburger. It's like, I'm a hamburger. I'm going to fucking spill my life story.
People do though. What people do.
You know what I mean? And I was like, you know, no. And then he had some of my belongings. Like I had like, I don't know, like a male fucking DJ bag or something, right? And I had money in it, like a Gucci bag. He was going through my Gucci bag.
Male DJ? Oh, you mean a purse? A man purse?
No, it wasn't a purse. It was literally like, almost like a briefcase, like satchel bag, but not like a little tiny fuck. Like anyway, so he was going through that and he was saying stupid shit about like, oh, remember you were in Detroit and you were at that hotel and you fucking did this? And I was just like, say stupid shit back to him, right? And I remember him having my Rolex, and it was a really nice platinum, and he was like, where'd you get this? And they're just the whole time trying to break you, and then they take you and they put me in county jail after like that whole mugshot incident. And then once I'm in county jail, my lawyers start coming and they keep saying, well, they really want you this and this. And I was married at the time. And even my wife, like someone in her family worked for the Alphabet crew in the same state that I was arrested in. Oh, wow. So she like secretly called and was like, hey, what the fuck's going on with my husband? And he called her back and said, well, they want him to fucking work with them. And I was just told to stay out of it, that I'm not allowed to even ask questions. And so that's it for me, like asking, asking what your husband is doing, and that's it. Like, no, and so that was it. But at the end of the day, like I had, I think 32 people arrested on my case, and I'm pretty sure like damn near every 32 of them folded.
Right. So in reality, and then so there's the whole thing about being an on paper cooperator, but then a lot of people, there's a lot of people where there literally is no record of them cooperating. Like you really can
sure, bro.
Just be grabbed and say, yeah, I'll take you to the address, and there's no way you'd ever know. There's no record of it.
Yeah, there's I know there's ones that are it's called like a hidden indictment, and then there's ones that are where they actually take like black and they ink it all out.
Redacted.
Yeah, they do that. And then there's another one, I forget the terminology for like the court document side of things, where it's just secretly sealed, Like, so for instance, when my lawyer would come to visit me, I would tell him, hey, when is like so-and-so going to court? So we could look, he would run their court documents to see what was said that day in court. And he would come back and say, oh, it's all fucking hidden. Like dude's thing came and it only has a few things on his court date. For sure. And that's what they mean, like when you arrive to prison and they say, check your paperwork. There's times where no matter what your paperwork, it's going to say either like blacked out, or it'll just say like defendant 1 or defendant 2 or whatever the scenario is, and it won't mention names, and you can clearly know who they're talking about.